Leonie Dawson refuses to be categorized. The podcast. Loves, I've got something really exciting to share with you today. A new, fun, freebie goodie project to share with you all. So, over the coming months, I'm going to be sharing a business success series here on the blog and on the podcast, and I'm going to share exactly how I've grown my passions and my hobbies into a business, and not just a wee business, but a 7-figure high profit business. So here's the thing, I reckon one of my big purposes in life is to share my experiences, my learnings, my mistakes, and my successes with you all, and hopefully you learn from that, and hopefully it's helpful. So in the coming series, which will get released once a week, we're going to do a deep dive into business success and cover a huge range of topics, including marketing principles, mailing lists, blogging, podcasting, joint ventures, sales pages, webinars, testimonials, social media, if you're into that kind of thing, sales funnels, raising your prices, ads, keeping your sanity as a business owner, and so much more. It's going to be so much fun. So make sure you are subscribed to my weekly newsletter digest so you don't miss out on a single business success article or podcast. And please do share this series along with anyone else who needs business support as well. So with that in mind, we're going to talk about the first pillar of business success, which is knowing who you help. So this one, it's going to be a bit more of a cerebral task, and in coming business secret series, we're going to drill down into much more pragmatic, tactile how-to advice, but this is still such an important pillar to work through and build upon. So here's the thing. You do kind of need to work out the demographic of the people that you're here to serve, because the more that you know them, the more successful you're going to be. So the more intimately you know them, their stats, their hopes, their dreams, their pains, the more powerful your business is going to be. You're going to need to know what they love, where they hang out, what they're wanting, and what they wake up worrying about. And then you're going to know how to find them and how to serve them, what they want and need, and how you can best help them. So to help you work out this exact thing, I've put together a cute little illustrated cheat sheet to help you work it out so you can get it straight away by popping in your details over at leoniedawson.com/biz1, B-I-Z, number 1. And you can get the worksheet for you to work out your ideal client there. Don't stress, it is doable, it is easy. I'm going to guide you through this process. Now here's my big tip. I don't want you to get your head stuck up your own butthole on this one. If you can't figure it all out, just fill out as much of the worksheet as you can and keep adding to it as you learn more. And you're going to craft your worksheet as you go along. And here's the thing, if you're feeling stuck, just start creating what you want to create. See who turns up. You're going to be fascinated by who shows up, and your demographic will reveal itself. I'll be honest, I didn't really know who I was going to help when I was starting out. And instead, I had to focus on, okay, I'm going to share, I'm going to create, I'm going to share, I'm going to put it out there. And then I took notice of who was turning up. Funny story time. It's kind of down to a fine art in that usually I can tell by the way somebody looks and the way that they dress whether they're a fan or they're a likely part of my audience. And my husband can as well. And I've been kind of recognized on the streets before, and I've said and they've said hello, and I've said hello, and I'm like, oh, dear Lord, do I not know who, I can't remember this person's name. And Chris is like, that's because you don't know them. They're a fan. That's quite obvious, babes. So there you go. Sometimes you'll have no clue who you're going to help, but then you start paying attention to who turns up. Another really useful thing to do is to do yearly surveys of your glorious humans, however many you have right now. So I don't always know exactly who I'm serving until I survey them. Sometimes it can be tricky to get people to actually answer your survey, so you do need to help them along the way. So some tips to get more people taking your survey is one, have a deadline for them to do the survey by. Two, tell them how long it will take, like just a couple of minutes. If it's going to be longer, don't say that. Say exactly like how long it will take. You can also, three, hold a competition with a winner to receive like a highly coveted prize, like a gift voucher for your business coaching services, a gift voucher to Amazon, whatever it is. And number four, you can also give something to everybody who completes the survey. For example, an ebook, a meditation, a workshop, whatever. Survey services that you can use to help you with that survey. You could use Typeform, SurveyMonkey, or Google Forms. There's plenty more out there, but those are the ones that are most commonly used. So in case you're like, oh God, what do I actually ask? Well, here's some of the questions that I ask in my surveys. Feel free to model your own on this. I just want to give you some specific examples so you can know what to ask to gather useful information about your business for your ideal client, worksheet. So, things that I tend to ask is, tell me more about you. What state, what country are you in? What your age is, and usually that's in like 5 to 10 year brackets, not like 82, 83, 84. It's more like 10 to 20, 20 to 30, all that kind of stuff. Also, you may want to ask, like, what kind of social media do you use regularly? And you can list off that if that's going to be important part of your marketing strategy. You may want to know what the highest level of school they've completed is. And the reason you may want to know this is so that you can add that in to your ads profile if you decide to run paid ads and you want to profile those people. Something I also like to ask people is, how would you describe yourself? And I'll put in a bunch of sort of different descriptors of ways that they might talk about themselves, like oddball or creative or hippie or spiritual entrepreneur or mother, or what's their identifying factors. I also ask, how did you find me? So I ask whether you found me on social media, through an affiliate, through an ad, through random web surfing, through a Google search, through a blog mention, through word of mouth. I also ask, what's the number one reason you've decided to purchase one of my courses or products? What the biggest benefit you've got from working with me? That's a really useful one to later turn into testimonials as well. I also ask, do you take other online e-courses? If you do, please, I'd love to know which ones. Not that I want to take over the world, but I'm always interested to see where they're hanging out and who else they're learning from, so that we could potentially be joint ventures or something in the future. It's always useful to know who else other people are learning from. I also ask, what do you wake up worrying about? That's a really useful question to know, because the words that they use and those principal concerns can help you in working out future courses or offerings or products. I tend to also ask, how long have you been following me online? Because I love to know, are they, what percentage of my audience is new? What percent has been around for a little while? Or what percent's been around for a really long while? For me, my audience tends to, there's some people who've been in there for a really, really long time. I just did an interview with somebody yesterday who remembers finding me in 2008. And that just thrilled me, makes me very happy. She's just not an anomaly in that. I've got people who've been following me since 2004 or even earlier, 2003, 2002, before I even had a blog. I was just hanging out in message boards and people found me that way. I also ask, what product do you want most from me next? I like to ask, what are the following describes you? And you can choose from more than one option. I've never thought of having my own business and I'm not interested at all in it. I'm in a state of transition. I'm not really sure what I want to do. I have a creative or spiritual hobby that I'd love to turn into a business. I work for a corporation, but I have a side gig that I'd like to make full time. I'm just starting out in my business. I'm already pretty successful with my business, making more than $40,000 a year and looking to grow. Or I'm already very successful with my business, making more than six figures and looking to grow. That's always really helpful because then I know where the majority of my audience is hanging out and how I can help them most. Now, then I ask, if you own a business, what field is it in? So I have a whole bunch of categories like coaching, sales, healing, health and wellness, professional, other, all that kind of stuff. I ask, if you own a business, what do you most want to know about to help your business grow? And what are your top 3 problems you want an answer to right now? Now, obviously, these aren't going to be the exact same questions that you're going to ask your audience, because you want to make sure that you're asking questions that is applicable to you, to your business, to your industry, and to what information you actually need to know in order to get the information that you need so that you can actually help people. Now, here's the thing. Your ideal client, it's going to change over time. As your business grows and changes, and as you grow and change, so will your ideal clients. I've been fascinated to watch as my audience has evolved over the course of my business, from being kind of older and being with like zero interest in being a business owner to being a slightly younger audience who are much more interested in business and marketing. So, hilariously, when I was in my 20s, a lot of my audience were in their 50s. And now I tend to have like the average kind of skews down a little bit into late 30s because I have more younger 20-year-olds in there as well. However, I also have like 85-year-old clients as well. And I also have 13-year-old clients. I have quite a large breadth, but it's interesting to know where, the majority is hanging out. Now, as your business grows and as you evolve as a person, you might notice that your ideal clients no longer fit. For example, you might realize that you're attracting clients who aren't ready to invest in themselves, they're professional victims, they don't actually use or implement your product or service, they're disrespectful of your time or energy, or are high maintenance. So as you discover what doesn't work for you anymore, you can adapt your worksheet and keep adjusting your sales message so that you've got clients who are a better fit for you. Now, if you don't know who you want to serve and you're still in the very beginning stages, I really just recommend to start sharing your work. Start helping people, not just once, but every day. Faithfully and joyfully. Do it every day for a year at least. And from there, you'll see who shows up, and that's how you build an audience. Now, if you want to learn more about finding your people and getting your business to make you big moolah, make sure you check out my Sales Star Masterclass. That is absolutely your next step. leoniedawson.com/sell. So make sure you go over to leoniedawson.com/biz1 to get that ideal client worksheet. Do it. Book some time in this week to get it done, and you will see the results. You've got this, and I believe in you. Bye!